Hello and welcome to the WOW, Connecting and Empowering Women Through Sports, brought to you by our new partner, Fresh Fine Wine. I'm Steve Kenny, and joining me virtually are my lovely co-hosts, Stephanie DeJopian and Janine Samuels. Ladies, it is so good to be back.
Yes, I agree. Ditto. So wonderful to see you all.
Yes, absolutely. Amen.
Well, we have a jam-packed show for you. We're discussing what's been going on with the Washington football team, taking a deep look behind the scenes, getting an inside peek onto some of the decisions that have been made so far, and hearing it firsthand from the true First Lady of Football, Mrs. Stephanie Rivera, the wife of head coach Ron Rivera. We spoke with her about her husband's recent cancer discovery, the steps they are taking towards recovery, and we had a chance to have a little bit of fun and try to keep it lighthearted and talk about their relationship dynamic. It's an incredible conversation. She is a class act, so stay tuned. You don't want to miss it. That's coming up in segment 2. But first, I'm sure you've been wondering why the WOW went dark over the last few months and why you've been missing out on us. We aren't going to sugarcoat it. We're always going to keep it real with you. You've seen social media, you've read the headlines, you've seen the news. It's been a lot, to say the least. But the progressive steps that this organization is taking were necessary. Don't let our absence fool you. We have not let off gas. We've been working extremely hard with our team alongside SVP of Media, Julie Donaldson, a true agent of change, to give you what you've asked for and frankly, what you deserve. Also, we're going to bring you along on this inclusive and transparent journey. We're working our tails off to play a role in the transformation of this organization for the better, and we're just getting started. Janine, what can they expect?
Oh my gosh. So I'm so excited. So first of all, welcome back. I am so excited that you all are here listening to us, watching us. Just as a reminder, we first kicked off the WOW podcast last year, making it the first all-female podcast under the NFL. And this season, we're moving beyond the podcast studio walls to reach you all everywhere. So both audio and video. So we are now officially the WOW show. So excited about that. And we are literally going to be bringing you everything burgundy and gold. We will have inclusive, transparent, authentic, yet fun conversations about all things Washington football, but from an inside scoop perspective. We really want you all, our viewers and our listeners, to understand who we are as an organization. We want you to be able to get to know our players and then understand who our leaders and our role models are within the community and within the Washington football team. So we're listening to your feedback. We always have, and we're going to continue to do so. And we have literally built this show off of your ideas. Now, if you remember, we first launched the WOW podcast last year. We asked for your input on the content. You told us that you wanted to talk 1, football, 2, health and wellness, 3, personal development and growth, and you wanted the opportunity to really just get and stay involved with community events. So what is the WOW show going to look like based off of your feedback? So depending on the show, we're going to mix it up, but some of the segments that you can expect are our home field segment, which will be brought to us by Fresh Vine Wines, with real and authentic chats with the wives, the significant others, and family members of our burgundy and gold players and staff, like you're going to hear in segment 2 of this show. We're also going to have a real talk segment with our players. We're actually going to be sitting down with them to chat, but also we're going to give you all the opportunity to ask questions of them. So make sure that you're connected with us on social media so that you can have the opportunity to go one-on-one with one of our players. We're also going to have a WOW Spotlight segment. And in this segment, we are going to get to know, learn from, and shine the spotlight on our leaders, the doers, the change agents within the community, the Washington football team, and then our United States military as well. We're going to have nutrition and fitness challenges to help all of us create healthy lifestyles, and tons of behind the scenes talks, footage, realness that literally you will not be able to find anywhere else. So that's just some of what you can expect from the WOW going forward. A lot of great change in store, but very positive change. And speaking of great change, there's been tons happening in the front office and on the field as well, not just here on the WOW Show. So let's talk Washington football. So Stephanie, can you give us a quick recap of what's been going on?
Okay, I'll try to be quick. So we are in a huge place of change here at the Washington football team. And to be honest, I have to say that Julie Donaldson and Jason Wright are in the right place at the right time. They are the first in their positions, and not just because it is time for that in this world, but time for it here at this organization. They have the experience and leadership skills that we need. Our team is being proactive in making strides that improve our company, not just for our fans, but for those of us that work here. As you already know, talking about Senior VP, as I mentioned, Julie Donaldson, and President Jason Wright. Julie comes to us with over a decade of sports broadcasting experience. And of course, you've seen her as a friendly face reporting on the sidelines at FedEx Field. And Jason, a former NFL player himself, he joined our team, leaving his partner position at McKinsey & Company, a management consulting firm. He specializes in modernizing higher education institutions, government agencies, and industrial companies through large-scale transformations. Key word here, transformation. So they not only bring years of knowledge and experience, but also fresh, innovative ideas, as well as energy and the take note attitude to push our organization further. That's what we all want and we need right now, are people that can bring innovation, transparency, real inclusiveness, and bravery to stand up for transformational change. So that's what's going on our organizational side. We are, all one in the same company. But just to move on to sports, on a football front, I know we are all excited that football is back. The pads are on and we are training full steam ahead. But we all recognize football brings us together. And as a step further in solidarity, our team canceled their team practice that was to be broadcasted to stand for unity for Jacob Blake, shot and paralyzed by Wisconsin police. I commend our team's decision on this and the character and positivity of our current head coach and players. So that's just a brief. I'll stop there, but difficult things at this time, but important change, and we have the right people in place. And I think we're fortunate to have this show to be able to connect with the females and fans and employees that will spotlight, as you mentioned, so that we can bring the entire community together.
Amen, and absolutely. Thank you, guys. And as Janine mentioned, our new format is all about inclusion and access. So do you have a question for a Washington football player? Make sure you're following WOW Washington on social to find out how you can ask a player a question and have it answered right here on the WOW Show. Rookie wide receiver Antonio Gandy Golden took a second from training camp to answer WOW member Barb's question. Check out AGT.
Hey Antonio, I'm Barbara, and I have a quick question for you. Which Washington vet has taken you under their wing?
Hey Barbara, thanks for the question. I would have to say Cam Sims. He's definitely a funny guy. He's definitely been a lot of help to me, just helping me with, a few assignments, just how to line up on the field, just how to really attack things. So he's definitely a vet that I really feel like has been taking me under his wing.
75 tons of game day trash and recyclables need to find a home. So when the final whistle blows, our team hits the field. As an official partner of the Washington football team, RTS is connecting FedEx Field with smarter waste solutions to ensure a more sustainable and responsible approach to what's left behind at the end of game day. RTS, a better waste company. Find out more at rts.com.
It's time to drive. It's time to explore. It's time for clearance. It's the Honda Summer Clearance Event with clearance deals on every favorite Honda model. Accord, Civic, CRV, HRV, Pilot, Passport, and more, all in clearance prices. This summer, get back in the driver's seat and rediscover the road in a new Honda. Don't miss your chance to get clearance pricing during the Honda Summer Clearance Event going on now. See your local Honda dealer or visit WashingtonAreaHondaDealers.com today. Hello and welcome to the WOW's Home Field presented by Fresh Fine Wine. Sharing a glass with us today is Stephanie Rivera, who is the wife of Washington football's head coach, Ron Rivera. Stephanie is often referred to as the coach behind the coach and is no stranger to calling the shots. She was the assistant coach for the Washington Mystics, and she is highly involved in giving back to her community. We could not be more thankful to have you here, Stephanie. And let us be the first to welcome you to the Women of Washington family. Everyone, check out her wine cellar.
Yes, welcome.
For sure, welcome. So good to
Very
see you.
exciting to be here. We're just glad to be in it. So excited for just us to be part of it. We're welcomed and we feel the love. It's awesome.
Well, since making the decision to come to Washington, you and your husband have really led the charge on the progressive and necessary changes that we've seen here in this organization. You both have already made such an imprint and impact on this community without even stepping foot into FedEx yet, which is why the recent news of Coach Rivera's health has all of us completely taken back. I know I was at practice actually last night leaving and saw it on Twitter, and I was just, struck by it. First off, how is your husband doing, and how are you doing now that the news of his diagnosis has been announced?
Yeah, I mean, the hardest part was, trying to get as many doctor visits to really get a good handle of what he's up against. After all the doctor visits, we feel really confident that, he caught it early. It's very treatable, very curable. And they just said, he's going to have some rough days. So more pampering by me, and this. He's not the best patient, so that's going to be my task is making him feel good. And he already called out the team and said, hey, don't piss him off because he's going to be a little grumpier, when he starts these treatments. But he's ready to go. I mean, he just knows he's just got to go through some tough times. That's the big warning, but he's going to get through this.
Yeah, that was my favorite quote that I saw this morning when looking through the media, was that he was saying, I'm going to be a little grumpy. Don't do anything that pisses me off. And I just love that. My dad was a football coach growing up, and it just sounded just like my dad saying it. I just love that spirit.
Yeah, and that's, we a lot of people that have, I think cancer touches everybody's family. I mean, it's just something that we all have to, work through and stay positive about. I mean, we know a lot of cancer survivors, and so they're just telling us to stay positive and do what the doctors tell you, and lots of good prayers and thoughts, but with friends and family, and I think that's going to get us through this.
Yeah, I would have to say my stepfather had the same exact cancer, and he is a 20-year cancer survivor of this. And so it is absolutely beatable. My best friend's husband just rang the bell beginning of this year and beat the battle against the same exact cancer as well. So, personal experience with it. I think, you've got that great home field advantage with you guys all there for him and supporting him. And that's all you can do. And every day is different, but you guys have that, your family and that right attitude that you will get through it. And I just wanted you to know that, 20 years strong. So, and I feel like that helps sometimes when you hear that.
Yeah, it does. It does. There's a lot of success stories with this particular cancer. And so we're just thankful that he caught it early, and that the doctors were right on top of it and said, nope, we're going to get this checked out and not even mess around with it. They're like, no, there's something that we need to check out. And he's been listening to the doctors and following all their instructions. And so he's very coachable too.
Good.
That's good to hear, though, right? That he is the coach, but he's also willing to take in some feedback and be coached as well. You touched on it earlier, just about the importance of early detection. And according to the American Cancer Society, almost 17 million people alive right here in the United States have had some type of cancer. And we're hearing, all the time success stories of people that are able to beat it and push through it. I remember a couple of probably almost over a decade now, covering a prostate cancer screening event at FedEx Field. Joe Theismann was there talking about the importance of early detection and prevention, and just making sure that especially men who sometimes don't want to go to the doctor, that they are serious about going in and being proactive about their care. So how did that play into the process with your husband? Were there symptoms or signs that he recognized that then he said, okay, yes, I need to now go and get this checked out?
Well, I tease my husband all the time. He's a little bit of a hypochondriac. So he definitely noticed something. He thought at first he might have strained his neck. We were on vacation, and he goes, I slept funny on the pillow. His neck felt weird. And then while shaving, he noticed a little bump. And he's like, yeah, I better go. Definitely, aware of how his body is, and he noticed something right away. So, like I said, I tease him all the time, but he is a hypochondriac, and I'm very thankful that he is, that he did not wait, and he just went and got it checked out.
So now, being obviously the matriarch of the family, how did your children take the news when they heard about this? Because you have to worry not just about him, but them.
Exactly. Well, our kids are adults, and luckily our son was here with us. He was visiting. He just finished his MBA program, and with COVID and everything else, it's a little hard to get a job right now. But Courtney works for the team, and so I was a little worried, how they would react, because you hear the word cancer and your heart just drops every time. But we were very fortunate. The team doctor came by and sat down with us right away and explained, what kind of cancer, he was dealing with, and the prognosis and the treatment plan. And so that kind of made us feel better. And now as we are going through the process and meeting with all these different specialists, they're explaining that, yes, there's a very treatable, very curable cancer. And so it's getting better, in terms of their anxiety. But my son, definitely said, Mom, don't look it up on WebMD. It's a little scary when you read all the
Don't do that.
So just, just go by what the doctor is telling us, and we'll be fine. So it was hard. We had to tell Ron's parents and my family, and we've had a lot of success stories with cancer, and a lot that didn't turn out. You just know everyone's gonna let them know that we're gonna be one of the success stories, and just keep them staying positive with us.
Yeah, and I love that. Just making sure that you stay positive and that you stay in that mindset. I'm a huge believer in the law of attraction. Everyone that listens to us knows that, what you put out, you will receive. And, obviously it's a blow, to your family, but staying positive is super important. But we are a part of your extended family as well, right? So the Washington football team, we love you all. We are excited that you all are a part of our family. And just out of curiosity, and I know, again, it's been pretty early, but how has the organization itself, the players, the staff within the Washington football team, how have they handled the news so far?
Well, so one of the first people after our family that we talked to is Dan and Tanya Snyder, and they've been so supportive. I mean, they're like, whatever you need, if Ron needs to take time off, that's great. But they have an understanding of what's, he's about to go through. So we're very thankful that, just doing whatever they can to help us, and, try to take the burden off them on anything that's, not football related, that they can help. He really just announced it last night to the team. We want to make sure we told our families first, and we knew as soon as he told the team, everybody else would find out. And the guys have been very supportive. We've gotten great messages from around the league. Bill Belichick actually said something. We're like, whoa, okay, thanks, Bill Belichick. It's been really neat to hear, everyone wishing him well, and giving us their thoughts and prayers, and the guys are just going to rally around him. And I think they're even more determined to make sure that we keep this bubble safe, from COVID, because now Ron's probably he's considered one of the people that is susceptible. So we need really stick together and really stay as a team.
Absolutely. And I'm sure he's putting on a brave face, obviously, when he's talking to his staff and players, but gotta ask you, as his wife, how is he handling it at home? Has it slowed him down at all? Do you see any changes in him, or is he still just pushing forward with that fighter spirit?
Oh no, he's just pushing forward. I mean, he's more than anything, he's pissed off that he's like one more thing that he has to deal with. You just really, really would love to just coach football. But I think, he's staying positive. He's staying, he's focused. He just knows that it's just one more thing he's got to work through. But luckily, he feels really confident in the staff he put together, that they could do the things that they need to do to keep us pushing forward. He likes what he sees in the team, and they're doing all the things that is business as usual right now. I mean, once he starts the treatment and they say he might feel a little more tired, things like that. So I mean, that's the thing. But right now he feels so healthy. That's what's kind of crazy, that he discovered this, and now they're saying he's got cancer, but he goes, but I feel great. So I think that's great that he's going in feeling really healthy and really good. And I think that'll get him through, the treatments.
Yeah, that is important. Staying healthy, like you said, that is key right now as he goes into it. So we wanted to ask you a question. You, I'm guessing, don't normally get so much time at home with Coach as he's preparing for the season. And you've gotten a crash course in Washington football. So, you were right there. He did a draft from home. So how was that for you? Did you get to, I'm sure he bounces all his ideas off of you, but did you feel like you were really taking part in this in a way that you haven't before?
Well, yeah, usually, draft wise, he would just call me like a minute before. He goes, "We're good. The pick is in. We're about to, and you're just waiting for the commercial to come back." And right then we're like, okay, it's, I know who the pick is because I could hear them say it. But the crazy part about the draft was everyone had iPhones, and then, that little dial, to light you up, right? But so you don't have a little red light. So we never knew when they would throw it back to us. And so I think there was a couple times that they like, and here's the draft room of the, Washington football team, and there's an empty chair because Ron had then just walked out of the room to go talk to the guy he just drafted. We're like, well, thanks a lot. A little heads up that you're throwing it back to us. But, then I tried to leave my dog sitting on the chair just so there would be someone there. But he kept leaving. So yeah, that was unusual, but it was interesting, to see, because you could hear what the other teams are picking, and I mean, as a fan, I would just watch it on TV, and then, I'd hear whatever popped up. But now I'm hearing, what every team is doing. So it was kind of cool to see that.
It's really cool.
Yeah. And so, I mean, I love just like all of the behind the scenes things that we would never know, right? Just talking to you and hearing about the experiences and literally, like, obviously our country, our world is going through unprecedented times, right? There's so much change happening, but even just within our organization with our rebrand and bringing on Julie Donaldson and Jason Wright and just all of this amazing culture shift that's happening. How has it been for you just talking through all of these major decisions with your husband?
Well, I think the biggest thing and the reason why we are here now is because Dan and Tanya Snyder, we had really great heart-to-hearts and we met their entire family. And when we did that, my family, they got us all together and our kids met their kids. And as we just talked about the fact that they know that things were not going well, and they really wanted to make change. It started with Ron, and he and Tanya, Dan and Tanya just said, "Look, we know there's mistakes have been made, and we think you're the first step in making those changes." And so we're like, we're ready for the challenge. We did not know it would be this many things that Ron was going to have to deal with, but he is a trooper. He knows, I mean, he's just a great leader. I always tease him and people ever ask who's the better coach. And I always say, I am. Okay. I'm the better coach, but he's the better leader. And I mean, he's got great coaching skills, no doubt. I'm not going to take that away, but I'm just saying his leadership skills are off the chart too. So I think he was the right person. And that's what Dan and Tanya Snyder saw in him, that he was the right person to get this whole organization going in the right direction, not just football, but in all aspects.
I love that.
I love that. I love the calling him like you're a better coach, but I'm the better leader, and really having that partnership. And that's kind of leads me to my next question. What advice do you have, not only for women in sports, but just for on the show here? We like to empower women. The Women of Washington is all about really giving a strong voice and encouraging women in that tribe. What is your advice for women who want to break into sports, for women who are being partners and, in the industry, as well as just advice for a woman whose maybe spouse or family member is going through a really hard time, as your family is right now?
Yeah, I mean, being involved in sports is tough. When you start out, everyone starts at the bottom. I mean, that's the thing, so this generation of everything is now, it's not, sports is still old school. You got to work your way up. I mean, when Ron was done with football playing, he started at the bottom. He was like the quality control coach, which is the lowest coach you can be, and so, but he also luckily had a lot of good mentors in the business, got a lot of great advice growing, as he grew as a coach. And so, I mean, that's the thing. You want to find really great mentors. You want to find, you want to talk to a lot of different coaches. You need to build a network, don't get stuck in just one place. You need to talk, go to, the conventions, go to the different things and really try to internship where you can, because the more people and the more perspective you have as a coach will help you become a coach yourself. You decide what feels best for you and how, and your approach to coaching, and that's the thing, because when I worked with different people along the course, some people were yellers, some people were quiet, some people, and some people were very direct, some people were like, very cerebral. There's all different ways to get to people. And I think, you have to figure out how you as a person want to be as a coach. And I think, or get into industry, you need to talk to as many people as possible. And you have to be willing to start at the bottom.
Yep, agreed. I was in broadcast journalism before this, and that it's old school in how you start. But I want to go back to the coaching, as being the better coach. Could you answer two things? What was your coaching style, now that you mentioned all the different coaching styles, because I was a coach too for 21 years. And then what goes through your head, second part, when he's coaching? Like, you're like, why did you make that? Why'd you call that?
Well, for me, I say I'm a better coach because I could work with a third grader. He can't, I mean, I can coach little kids all the way to adults. And I mean, he's working with professional athletes. He likes to stay in that realm because, it's tough for him, to relate all the way down to kids. So that's why I tease him, and I say I'm a better coach because I could work with kids. I like the teaching aspect for sure, and I love to see when kids get it, when you teach them something and they get it, that light bulb goes off, and that's the fun part for me. And I'm sorry, what was the second part of your question?
The second part was just off a little bit, but just what
said,
goes through your head when he's coaching and you're like, why did you call that,
Okay, so yeah, so because I don't know the exact game plan, usually I make mental notes and I'll ask him after a game. So what happened on that play? Because obviously the running back was not supposed to run 70 yards down the middle of our defense, So, because I always know there's a breakdown, so I'm like, or on offense, there's a reason why something happened, because, when you design a play, it's designed to be successful. And when it's not, something happened. So from that respect, I will never criticize what he calls or what he does, because I know there's a lot of thought that goes behind it. I mean, people don't realize it's like they have 15 to 20 seconds to make a decision on a play when the ball's set, depending on where it is and down in distance. I mean, the play happens, you're already thinking about the next play. I mean, there's a lot going on. And I mean, he's very thankful to have someone like Jack Del Rio that's there now, that he can make those games and he can see the big picture. He can see the big picture on offense, defense, and special teams. And he could think it through, to him, it's a chess match, which he loves, And so for him, he's really thinking about everything from, not just the play that happened, but, 3 moves down the road. So I will never question him on play calling, ever. I always ask what happened later.
Great.
Yeah, and I mean, I think that's probably just a wonderful dynamic that the two of you all have, being that you are both coaches. You both obviously love sports, so you can be a sounding board off of one another and maybe ask questions, and hopefully the other person doesn't get too defensive. And, I just think it's wonderful, just what we've seen so far with your relationship with one another, but then also the relationship that you're building with us and the community and the fans. And, we really, really appreciate it. We literally could talk to you for hours, I feel like. But I just have one last question for you. So what's something about your husband and about yourself that maybe you all have never shared openly with anybody that you could maybe share with our listeners and viewers? It's kind of like the inside scoop on who you all are, maybe a habit or a like or a desire that no one really knows about.
That's tough.
Well, you know, when people see Ron, the coach, on the field, he's very serious, very stoic, very, you know, I think everyone's like, you know, they got that focus. Someone put a little cartoon in. It was just him with just a tough look on his face, and they put it on Ron Rivera's emotion. It was the same picture on every, you know, every square, happy, sad, you know, whatever. And so, you know, he says it's very important as a leader to stay focused and for the team to see that you're not high and low during a game. You have to be consistent, be steady. But people don't realize he has the, you know, has the biggest sense of humor. He loves to laugh. He loves to crack jokes. And so, you know, the regular fan will never see that. But he's pretty funny. He says some funny stuff to the guys, and they get a glimpse of his humor. But yeah, the public doesn't get to see that.
I just want to say thank you so much for taking the time and sharing your hearts and letting us into such a personal matter, and really showing that football is family and that we all are your family now. I don't know you personally, but I have no doubts after this conversation with your strength and his strong will that there's no doubt that you all both will not overcome this obstacle and continue to make such a huge mark and impact here in Washington. We extend our best wishes to Coach Rivera and your family, and we're confident that he will prevail. And I cannot wait to have you back to really get to know the woman behind our new head coach and dive more into what makes you a strong leader and really a force in the industry. We thank you so much for letting us into your home, seeing your amazing wine cellar, and getting to know a little bit more about you and sharing your heart. Thank you so much.
Yeah, well, we can come over and help with that.
If you need help.
Little wine tasting. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, we'd love to talk football. Let's get a few wins under our belt, and we'll revisit for sure.
Hey, Coach, it's Jeff Reinhart with the Hog Farmers. Just want you to know that you and your family are in our thoughts and prayers during this difficult time, but we know you've got this, Coach. Rivera strong.
Hey, Coach. This is Pez.
And Holy.
We want to reach out from our family to yours
to say that you are in our thoughts and prayers.
And we wish you a speedy recovery.
Hail on, Coach Ron.
How you doing, Coach Rivera? This is Tailgate Ted. I just want to let you know that you and your family are in our thoughts right now. And ever since you came here to DC, you've been preaching team. But for us, it's way more than that. You're a part of our Burgundy and Gold family. And just know that you have all of us behind you, supporting you every step of the way. Take care, and God bless.
A new decade demands a new kind of wine. As consumers continue to embrace healthier lifestyles with beverages that taste great and keep in line with their dietary preferences, and wine is no exception. Fresh Vine Wine thoughtfully crafts great tasting premium wines that are low calorie, low carb, low sugar, keto, vegan friendly, and gluten free. Fresh Vine Wine pairs perfectly with your active lifestyle without sacrificing on taste. Available in select stores in DC and Maryland. Now I have to say, I had the Chardonnay when we were speaking with Mrs. Rivera, and I haven't been a Chardonnay girl lately, but their Chardonnay was really good, I have to admit. And I even shared it with a wine snob friend of mine who thought it was really, really good. So I'm looking forward to trying it.
I said the exact same thing. I'm not usually a white wine person or a Chardonnay person, and that's the first one I had, and it was amazing. Yeah, so I am a big fan and happy they are partners.
I love them all. Drink them all.
Don't discriminate.
Haven't gotten to the reds yet, but I'm getting there.
Welcome to the Wow Overtime. Before we wrap this up, we want to take a second and share with you the proactive changes that we've seen within the Washington football team that not only have we seen and heard about, but we have physically been a part of. You all know I've been a cheerleader in this organization for the past 6 years, and I have never been more proud to say I am a first lady, not only because of how diverse and empowering the amazing women that I cheer alongside, but because of the progressive steps and actual change that I am seeing. Don't get me wrong, we still have a very long ways to go, but I can tell you right now, I am very proud to be a part of this program.
Yeah, I mean, that's right. I mean, the organization, I feel like, has literally hit the ground running. You know, there was a lot of negativity out there for a little while, but we've literally taken some of that and just turned it into such positive change and positive action. You know, so in addition to some of the amazing new hires that Stephanie talked about, the Washington football team immediately started holding town halls with literally, they were open to every single person within the organization to really listen to our team members and to understand what's working and what's not working. And then in the aftermath of the death of George Floyd, and based on feedback that was received in these town hall meetings, BEN was organized. So that's kind of what I want to give everyone an update on. Dan Snyder donated $250,000 to help start some of these programs. BEN stands for the Black Engagement Network. And so I'm excited because I am actually one of the board members and I am a co-lead for the policy subcommittee. So I'm able to really see firsthand what is happening and see all of the amazing work that is being done. So BEN's vision is really to create a diverse and inclusive culture within the NFL for employees at every single level. And so we really want to make sure that we're doing that at the Washington football team as well. There's going to be mentoring and networking and personal development and new policies and events and outreach, all intended to engage, equip, and empower our team members to literally recreate an organizational culture that attracts, but then also develops and retains Black talent. But the wonderful thing about this is that a lot of the initiatives that are coming out of BEN are going to also benefit all employees and will literally impact our community in such a positive and uplifting way. BEN members have already organized and participated in a few community service events. The organization already has, efforts around social justice, HBCU to make sure that we're connecting with, universities and colleges, and an educator appreciation event. And all of these initiatives, again, just to bring our employees together, but then also to connect with the community. So really excited about what BEN has in store for us.
Definitely. I'm very happy about this edition of BEN in our team. I look forward to doing more volunteer work with one another and working alongside my peers for inclusion and diversity. I had a great time volunteering, Janine, with you and Jamila when we did that. We recently began another initiative for our female employees under the Women of Washington platform. That is called Women's Initiative Now, or WIN. Alongside some amazing female colleagues, I am on the leadership board for this group. And the mission of this is to empower, support, and enrich women to succeed and advance at the Washington football team, both personally and professionally. Our pillars are career development, health and well-being, work-life balance, and support system. We will have inclusive and transparent meetings and workshops on all of these. So very important, both of these organizations, or both of these yes, this is what I'm trying to say. Organizations within the team. Lots of words here.
Yeah, no, I agree, Stephanie. And I think, like what Jade said earlier, I've always been proud to rock the burgundy and gold. I've always been proud to be a fan of this team and a supporter of this team. But even more now, because so much positive action is being taken, but fast, and being thoughtful about the change and inclusive about the change as well. So it's really exciting. And I'm looking forward to, what's to come, not just on the field, because obviously everyone's excited about football, but also what's going to be happening, in the front office and behind closed doors and within these organizations. So it really is, always trying to take something not so positive and turning it into a positive. I think that this is such a positive thing that's happening within the organization.
Absolutely. And, we're being the first, for a lot of things right now. And that's something to really be proud of. And hopefully we won't be the last. We will really set the momentum for what is to come. And I am very proud. And I'm proud of each of you for all of your involvement in this change. And like we said, it's not just words, it's action. And it's a lot of it. It's truly, truly the start of a new era. It's not just a marketing campaign and a fun spin on Rivera. It's a new era here. It's not perfect by any means. There's no rainbows and butterflies, and it's not going to be fixed overnight, but you can trust us. We promise to always keep it 100 and real with you. We're going to bring you along on this inclusive and transparent journey. So make sure you are tuning in to our new format of The Wow Show. That's going to do it for us. It goes by so fast. Make sure you check out Wow Washington on social media channels to stay up to date with all events, as well as more information on how you can ask a player a question and be involved here on the show. Thank you to our partner, Fresh Fine Wine. Until next time, see ya.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Dear Novak, I like that our usage is updated monthly through the website, so I can see what we're using.
Dear Novak, I have lived here for 11 years, and my power has only gone out once. Prices are reasonable, and communications are frequent.
Dear Novak, you help protect the environment, offer excellent customer service, and help protect wildlife. Thank you, Novak.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Novak, power you can count on.
The Department of Veterans Affairs has the honor of providing care to those who have served this country in uniform. Today, the VA is on the front lines of the battle against the coronavirus, and we need your help. We are looking for medical professionals at every level. I hope that you will consider joining our team, either temporarily or permanently. To learn more, go to va.gov/join us.